My wife of 20 plus years was severely mistreated and abused as a child, never knowing proper love, so I've tried my best to be there for her as her rock and support, but after years of being her punching bag and being mistreated with no end in sight, I'm rethinking if this is the life I really want. Posted by you/Independent Drive 544. This is long, but I want to share my story and hear your thoughts. I, 46M, have been married to my wife, 45F, for 20 plus years. We have 3 teenage kids. Until recently, I would have said we had a wonderful marriage. But as I look back, I think, out of pure love and obsession, I've been looking at things with rose-colored glasses. We met in college. Her best friend went to the same college as me, and that's how we met. She had a tough upbringing. Her mom was very young when she was born, and her parents were never married. She didn't meet her biological dad until she was in her 30s, which is a story for another day. Her mom isn't really a good person, and they are no contact with one another. Until my wife was a teenager, she shared a bedroom with her mother in her grandparents' house. They were more like sisters. When she was a teenager, her mom got married to another awful person. She had an affair with a married guy. Eventually, he got divorced and married my mother-in-law. He had 2 kids, who were slightly older than my wife. Imagine what that was like, merge 2 families with teenage kids, their dad cheated on their mother, and then shack them all up in one house. I can't imagine. There are countless stories of the horrors my wife went through as a child. Her mom told her she should have terminated her, tried to push her out of a moving car, there were smacks and slaps. My wife was never complimented growing up. I have never heard my mother-in-law compliment my wife. My wife was always smart, did well in school, didn't get in trouble, helped around the house, cooked for her family, she was and is very pretty. Her mother only criticized her, and it was constant. As if that wasn't bad enough, she was sexually assaulted in college by a friend of her stepbrother. To say that this has taken a mental toll is the understatement of the century. I have loved her with every sense of my being, supported her in her therapy. I am by no means a perfect husband, but I have tried my best to be supportive and loving. Anyway, fast forward to today. I've been married for over 20 years. My wife obviously has a lot of issues stemming from the above. I love her more than anything in the world, but it hasn't been easy. I've borne the brunt of some pretty outlandish treatment, and I'm wondering if I have been blinded by love and if this is not a safe and healthy environment for me. I don't know if I could ever leave, don't know if I could do that to her or to my kids. But I'm starting to feel like I'm only here to serve the purpose of providing support, financial, emotional, physical, parenting. Here are some of the things that have happened. About 5 years ago, we went to a beach location for a long weekend with a lifelong friend of mine and his family. It was an all-around great time. One night, while we were leaving an amusement park, we were walking with the kids to get ice cream. We walked past a bar, and a baseball game was ending. My friend and I said to the wives that we wanted to grab a drink and watch the end of the game while they got ice cream next door. Everyone seemed fine with it. This is something I never do. My friend and I were gone 20 to 30 minutes. When we got home, my wife lost it. She couldn't believe I had abandoned the family, for a half-hour tops while they ate ice cream. This was the first time she hit me. She punched me 4 times and threw a chair at me. I was shocked. This pattern escalated over the next few months. She slammed the shower door on me, breaking it and effectively trapping me, naked, in the shower. If she hadn't brought me a screwdriver to remove the shower door, I'd still be in there. Right before the holidays in 2019, 4 months after this hitting started, my wife had a disagreement with my daughter. My wife made a mistake and said something she shouldn't have. It should have been easily fixable with a quick apology, but my wife turned it into World War III with my daughter, which I thought was unnecessary, but my wife and I put up a unified front with our kids and addressed things later. After my daughter went to her room, punished, my wife and I went into our room. I tried to calm my wife down, but apparently, she wanted me to match her level of outrage, and my wife unleashed the fury on me. She punched me countless times. I ended up with a bloody nose and a cut beneath my eye. I am over 6 feet tall and a pretty fit guy. My wife is almost a foot shorter than me and maybe 80 pounds lighter. I sat there and let her punch me countless times. I remember being frozen and also being afraid. I didn't even want to grab her hands out of fear I would be blamed for the fight and arrested. She was unhinged, screaming as she pummeled me. It was awful. It was really fun to coach my daughter's basketball game with a badly bruised and cut up face the next day. After this, I freaked out. I realized the situation had gotten way out of hand. My wife apologized profusely. I said I couldn't go on like this. Our kids heard the commotion, and we later had to talk to them about it. I told my wife this wasn't safe for me. She had a near breakdown out of fear I would leave her. She discussed it with her therapist. We went to couples therapy for the first time. It was a mess. I've come to realize that therapists, or at least the ones we have seen, focus on the patient with the most needs. Given my wife's past, She has the most mental health issues, and so that is where the focus was. It was really hard to be put on the back burner. COVID came, and the couple's therapy stopped. We tried again last year, and that was worse for the same reasons. What else has this marriage been like? Well, we've always been very sexually active. My wife is very beautiful. She gets attention anywhere she goes, although she usually seems oblivious to it. I sometimes feel infatuated with her. But she grew up with a mother that hated her and constantly tore her down. I have always complimented her, her beauty, her intellect, how wonderful of a mother she is, how incredible of a cook she is, how incredible of a hostess she is for holidays. She's amazing in so many ways. I think I'm good looking but nothing special. I'm in good shape, but I'm going bald, and I've aged. Most people would say this guy is punching above his weight. I was good with this for a long time, but I think I started to feel somewhat insecure as I aged. I'm not particularly vain or anything, but I looked for reassurance from her about my physical appearance. For the first time in my life, I felt insecure. I almost felt embarrassed. She didn't come through for me, quite the opposite. She had never really complimented me about my appearance our whole relationship. Maybe she's just brutally honest, I don't know. One night after we were intimate, she told me how small I was. This was a completely unsolicited comment after 15 plus years together. I think I'm average down there. I have measured myself, and I'm just under 6 inches. I always thought she was pleased, so hearing a complaint in that department was quite a blow. She later admitted she said it to hurt me out of some sort of anger. She wasn't even sure what she was mad about. She's tried to walk that back, but it's been tough. Not long after that, I asked her what was physically attractive about me. I was just looking to feel better about myself. She told me there was nothing. Those were her words. And she was kind of shocked that I was taken aback by that and hurt by it. Hey, I asked, so I guess I deserve it. She's tried to walk that back a lot over the years as well. Around that time, we went to dinner, and I sort of said, hey, I'm over 40, and for the first time ever, I'm feeling anxiety and stress over work, the kids, and life, etc. I asked if she could try to be more supportive and caring. She said no, that she was a good wife already and was providing support already. She couldn't do any more. We actually talked through a lot of it. I expressed how it made me feel, and she apologized for what she said. She's actually way more giving of compliments than she has ever been. She has improved there. But it feels forced, only being said because I asked her to. Doesn't always feel sincere. I have discussed it at length in therapy, and I'm basically good with my appearance and what I can and cannot control, but I still think it was unnecessarily mean of her. My wife has a massive fear of abandonment and has massive trust issues. She regularly accuses me of cheating. I have been nothing but faithful. I have to travel some for work, on average about 3 days a month, some months more, some months less. She regularly wakes me up in the middle of the night to FaceTime to see if anyone is in my room. There has obviously never been. One night last year, I had to travel to give an important big presentation. I had to give it first thing in the morning. I prepared for weeks, and it was stressful. I was presenting the work of my team, so the pressure was on me to show the good work everyone had done. My wife and I spoke around 10 o'clock, talked for about half an hour, and I went to bed. At 2 a.m., I woke up to banging on the hotel door. She had somehow convinced the hotel manager, huge national hotel chain, so I'm not sure how this is compliant with their policies, to check on me because of an emergency. I realized I had maybe 10 missed calls and maybe 30 text messages from her. I had been asleep. So we FaceTimed, we confirmed there was no one there in the room with me. She wasn't sorry or anything. She was mad that it took her so long to get a hold of me. I was now wide awake and had to give this presentation. Then had to work a full day and attend a work dinner on basically 3 hours of sleep. My wife has always been insanely jealous of other women. My first boss after college was like 4 years older than me. Her husband worked at the same company. My wife hated her, I guess because I would talk about her. She was the person I worked closest with. I basically gave up any female friendships that I had, not that I was particularly close with any other women. One thing that was a particular issue for her was bachelor parties when all my friends were getting married. She hated the idea of me going to a strip club. Okay, fine, I don't particularly enjoy strip clubs. Nothing against the workers there, but I just see it as them wanting my money, and I don't need to pay to see a really attractive woman. So anyway, neither of us had strippers or anything like that at our bachelor/bachelorette parties. I had a great time at mine. We played golf, went to an awesome dinner, and then gambled afterward. Anyway, some friends of mine did go to strip clubs for their bachelor parties. I always told my wife. And she wanted me to attend. I offered to skip that part, but I don't think she wanted to be seen by my friends or the other wives as controlling or a stick in the mud. I really don't know. But she wanted me to stay in contact the entire time. It was a little over the top, but I did it. I would literally text her nearly the entire time I was there, describing the situation, just talking about the night. Not sure why I even went to that part of the bachelor party. This happened 3 or 4 times. When I got home, I got the third degree. She examined me, smelled me, examined my body for evidence, examined my underwear. It was crazy. Before the last one, I said I didn't want to do this. I didn't even want to go. But she didn't want that, she wanted to go and stay in touch. She promised to back off some, but she didn't really. At one point, a bouncer came over and told me to put the phone away when I was texting. So I did. I guess he was worried I was taking pictures. No, I wasn't taking pictures, I was staying in touch. Typing this out makes me realize how ridiculous it was. All of this would have been no big deal. These bachelor parties all happened over 10 years ago. Recently, she was talking about her best friend's bachelorette party, which was years ago. My wife was the maid of honor. She had always insisted that she never went to a strip club, ever. Well, recently, my wife said something about the men pulling her friend up on stage and embarrassing her. I was like, where was this? Even in that moment, I wouldn't have cared that they went to a strip club. I trusted her, or, until all this, I fully trusted her. She insisted this was at a typical bachelorette party restaurant that wasn't a strip club. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know? I said that it felt like she wasn't being honest. She was offended. I said that I thought the real issue was that she thought I might have put her through the same thing she put me through. I said I didn't like it, but it was so long ago, I don't really care. But she doubled and tripled down. So she goes to the other room and texts her best friend, then comes back and hands me the phone to show me the texts. She asks her friend, "Did we go to a strip club for your bachelorette party?" Which seems like an odd question to ask someone out of the blue, and the responses seemed odd. So I asked my wife, "Is this the full text exchange? It feels like something is missing." So I look in her deleted texts, and sure enough, there are deleted texts. I restore it, and the response from the friend is, "Oh, that is a definite yes." So I look at my wife, shocked. I don't even know why she went down this path. She says her friend is wrong. Now I'm annoyed, and I'm asking, what happened that you would lie about this? What did you do? Horror stories about bachelorette parties are running through my mind. We have an argument over this, where I am gaslit to hell. She doesn't remember, her friend is wrong, that's why she deleted the text, she didn't cheat or do anything wrong. All the comments about her level of attraction to me come back to my mind. No real resolution, but she promises me that she will figure out what exactly happened. Fast forward about a month to a holiday party we went to. We see her best friend for the first time in a few months. Of course, they talk a lot amongst themselves, which is obviously fine. We leave, and 20 minutes later, we are in the car driving home, and she gets a text. It's from her best friend. It includes a screenshot from one of their other friends, and the best friend's text says, "Wife, and I just cannot remember what we did for my bachelorette party. Do you remember?" And the response is this whole description of a comedy show that they went to. The entire thing is so contrived, it's almost comical. There is no way this is true, and it is so clear that they discussed this at the party we were just at and came up with this plan. I feel so manipulated. My wife is in the passenger seat, and she is almost giddy reading the texts and saying how they have now solved the mystery. I have no idea what happened at that bachelorette party. But the whole story and the lying were so unnecessary. She's still holding firm to her story, whatever it is. I wouldn't have even cared if they went to a strip club because I trusted my wife. But this story has made me lose trust. And now all the abuse over the years is coming back to me and making me see things differently. Have I ever been loved? Is my wife capable of love? Did she cheat on me? Am I the world's biggest fool? I love her and the family we have created. Obviously, there are so many positives to our relationship that I didn't list. But can all the positives in the world make up for all this? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. You sound like a good and sweet man. She is very abusive, and that is not okay. The minute she laid a hand on you, it was not okay. It is abuse. She has a very sad upbringing, and you are extremely empathetic, but that may be an explanation for her trauma, not an excuse. There is no excuse for hurting you. No excuse for the cruelty of her verbal harm. No excuse for the manipulation and jealousy. Our country does not recognize that men can be just as abused as women, maybe worse, because they have little support or feel they can reach out for help. You are caught in a cycle with her, but she is an abuser. I do worry for your kids and the example of abuse she is setting there. When you are trapped in this cycle, you cannot see it clearly for what it is, especially when you love her and feel empathy for her. But you are being abused, and this is not okay. You deserve to feel safe and respected. I hope you can reach out, separate from her, to get support and advice. If the genders were reversed, people wouldn't hesitate to say, leave her. Remember that you don't deserve this, and her lack of healthy boundaries growing up should not be put onto you. I hope you can find some safety. Good luck, my heart hurts for you. Ops response. Thank you for this reply. It's been tough. The replies aren't surprising. I still do feel awful for her. She's a really wonderful person, but she has demons. I didn't even share half of the horrors her mother and stepfather put her through. I'm sure people will not like this reply. Commenter 2. Really wonderful people don't attack their spouses. I had a very similar upbringing to her. I'm married and have my faults, but I have never laid hands on my husband and never will. When he told me the things I said were borderline cruel when I was upset, I went to therapy, read self-help books, and listened to podcasts. I wanted to be better for him. Does she want to be better for you? Everyone has demons, some worse than others, but your wife is dangerous. I would never let my children near someone who beat the crap out of me once, let alone multiple times. This isn't what you want to hear, I'm sure, but it's what everyone's going to tell you. Leave. Ops response. No, you're right. It isn't what I want to hear, but I know that you're right. Sorry for your childhood. While I didn't experience it, I know the toll it takes. Commenter 3. Dude, your kids had to listen to her batter you. You are worried about the wrong traumas for them. They will recover from the divorce. They will have a significantly harder time recovering from living in an abusive environment. Ops response. I know. That fact has haunted me, that they heard that. And then they saw what I looked like the next day. My son is my youngest. This is the example I set for him? To let this happen to me and just accept it. It just sucks. Op adds an edit to his post. First, all comments and the DMs have been so caring and kind, even the ones trying to smack some sense into me. There is a lot of love out there from kind strangers. Thank you. Based on an exchange in my DMs, I'm sharing that the physical abuse did stop 5 years ago. She worked with her former therapist, who specialized in CBT, and she is more in control of herself. I'm not sure she fully acknowledges the pain this has caused me, and the kids. And all this other nonsense has continued. I'm not sure this changes anything for me, though. Update 3 days later. I had a lot of conversations with my wife. We've actually been apart all weekend. She sent me this today. I don't really know what to think. I said awful things to you that I didn't mean. I did it because I was unkind and reckless. I physically hurt you. I became incredibly selfish and did not honor you like I should have. None of that is excusable, and I will literally be working to correct it for the rest of my life. You live with the weight of my words and actions, and it kills me that I put you in that position. But to be clear, I love and adore you. I am incredibly attracted to you and want to have a close, fulfilling sexual relationship with you. I have never, ever said that you don't satisfy me. In fact, it's been quite the opposite over the years. I love the life you provide. I am incredibly grateful for how hard you work and how much you sacrifice. My actions have not reflected this gratitude enough, and that is unfair and hurtful to you. I have never cheated on you. I have never wanted to cheat on you. I have taken the easy way out of tough conversations, deleted texts, and ignored your feelings about things in an attempt to avoid confrontation. That was weak and immature. I will no longer engage in the negative behaviors I've shown you in the past. I am working to correct the broken parts of me that have allowed me to excuse myself from accountability and blame. I have a lot of guilt to live with, and I'm not asking anyone to feel sorry for me. I put myself in this position and put us there as well. That's what I have guilt for, not for cheating, because I never did that. I know you are hurt and broken. I know that your trust is gone and your feelings are trampled on and confused. I did that. Me. I take responsibility for what I've done and will work until my last breath for your healing and forgiveness. You are the absolute love of my life. I was blessed the day you and I met, and I will feel blessed every day I get to share with you going forward. You deserve to feel loved, honored, appreciated, and safe. I will be that for you, no matter what happens to us as a couple. If I could take back every single solitary moment that I made you feel less than that, I would. I would never have hurt you, never have made you down. I will do whatever you need, today, now, and always. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. My ex-wife did this about 10 times before finding God and telling me I'm not godly enough. She doesn't love and adore you, she's just afraid of going at it alone and is buying time. The only truth in there is that she loves the life that you provide. Commenter 2. Sweetie, this is called love bombing. She is telling you what you want to hear in order to make sure you don't leave her. Speaking from personal experience. Life is too short to be unhappy. If you love yourself and your children, you will get yourself and them away from her. They are seeing this behavior and will think that this is how they should treat the people in their lives. Your significant other should never feel that it is okay to speak to you like that or feel the need to tear you down. Would you be okay with your children's spouse treating them this way? Love yourself enough to get away. Op's response. Yep, this is how I feel. Op adds an edit to his post. Remove the long love bombing message, which was very nice and said a lot of the right things. Same story about her friend's bachelorette party, so it's all kind of silly. The few comments I already got confirmed what I needed to hear. I just needed some independent advice, and I haven't really spoken to anyone in my life. That will now begin to change. I know the path to take, and there's no good in having a verbatim copy/paste of a long text posted here. Thanks, all, for your help. So many were so kind. For those who weren't, why would you kick someone while they're down and struggling? Especially when you know you're right in your message. Second update 6 months 2 weeks later. I posted several months ago about my 20+ year marriage and how much nonsense I have put up with. People mostly gave harsh but good advice to me. I wanted to give an update and come back for more advice. This is long, so feel free to skip if the ramblings of a middle-aged dad of 3 aren't of interest to you. So, back in February, I insisted on a 2-month separation. We told the kids I was traveling for work, and when I was home, that my wife was traveling to meet friends. My wife hated every second of the separation. I had some conditions for returning. We tried marriage counseling again, third counselor. This one was better, I guess. But my requirement was that my wife take the lead, find the therapist, give all the backstory on the abuse, the insults, etc. She did all that. I further insisted that she tell the complete truth about anything inappropriate that had ever happened with another guy, including at her friend's bachelorette party. This took a while. At first, she held to the same story. Then she started saying things like she was working on it with her therapist, working on how to tell me. She somehow didn't understand that a statement like that was awful for me to bear. Obviously, my mind went to all the worst places. I ended the separation in April with the idea that she was making progress. We discussed her physical abuse of me a lot in therapy. The abuse really peaked in late 2016 to 2018. She told me at that time that she had become very resentful of me. I had gotten a promotion, and she felt everyone thought I was awesome, and she was jealous. At the same time, she got into excellent shape. She's always been very attractive, but at that time, my youngest was around 6 to 8 years old, and she still had some baby weight. She shredded that baby weight and looked incredible. I guess I had gained some weight around that time, and she thought she didn't get enough attention or credit relative to me. I don't know. She says these things very matter-of-factly. She did a lot of CBT work and specific work for abusive partners. She owned it with the kids, and we had several good conversations. I thought we were turning a corner. I had been frustrated by the lack of disclosure about her friend's bachelorette party. So, in June, I said I was leaving again. She actually handled this much more calmly and maturely. We still saw each other and even did date nights. We were even intimate. Not sure what the separation was. So, she said she would focus on what happened and was getting ready to share anything and everything with me. A couple of weeks ago, she asked me to join a session with her therapist. She wanted to do a therapeutic disclosure. I wanted to throw up. I go to the therapist's office, and she proceeds to tell me how at her friend's actual bachelorette party, they went to some show, no strippers, just drinking and silliness. Then she says that her friend's work friends threw her a bachelorette party at a hotel. And there were strippers there. In my wife's words, it was wild. Now, context for this is in my prior post. I really don't care if she saw strippers. I care more about the double standard she applied and the lying, as she treated me like crap whenever friends of mine went to strip clubs for their bachelor parties. She said that she never touched any stripper, even though multiple approached her many times, at first in G-strings and eventually fully naked. Lovely. But that's all that happened. Who knows if it's true? I don't care anymore, for reasons I'm about to get into. This is all in front of this therapist. So then she says that I asked if there was anything with any guy that she hasn't told me. If this wasn't long enough, brace yourselves. She had this other friend who was in the middle of a divorce in 2016. The friend was a fitness instructor at a gym. The friend met a retired professional athlete at the gym. I remember the friend being obsessed with this guy, all while technically still married. Well, my wife and this friend would go out and meet up with the retired athlete and his entourage. My wife would effectively play wingman for her friend. And one of the entourage took an interest in my wife. My wife claims nothing ever happened other than flirting, but that when they were out, this guy always had his arm around my wife, constantly groped her ass, often tried to kiss her, sent pics, and bought her a thong bikini for her to send pics back to him. My wife said she never wanted it, but never fought it, liked the attention, and mostly wanted to support her friend. The friend eventually had a falling out with the retired athlete, who moved away. So that whole thing sucks. So I'm completely stunned. Wife is crying. Therapist is spewing some nonsense about my wife's bravery, that I requested disclosure of anything that might have been remotely inappropriate, and she has come through for me. I leave. Wife follows. Phone starts blowing up. It's my wife's best friend, who calls 10 times. She then starts texting me, swearing to me that what my wife is saying is true. There were strippers at bachelorette party number 2, but my wife did nothing. Texts start pouring in from her other friends confirming this story. And then I get a text from her friend who paired up with the athlete. And she confirms that story. Wife was only doing her a solid, taking one for the team. So, great. Let's get a few more people involved in my life, my humiliation, the crumbling of my marriage. She could talk to all these other people about all this, but not me. She needed a therapist there to talk to me about it. It just feels like one big manipulation. So anyway, I feel completely done. I still love my wife, 'cause I guess I'm just a simp. We are separated. I have spoken to a lawyer. My kids know and are furious with me because I am the one leaving. Be kind to your partners, people. Love them and respect them. I adored my partner and still do, but it wasn't enough. Top/relevant comments. On what happened the night his wife got into a fight with his daughter and then with him. My daughter had some friends over for a sleepover. My wife went into the room where they were hanging out and tried to engage in girl talk type stuff with my daughter's friends. My wife mentioned something about boys and who liked whom. My daughter told my wife to stop, but she didn't and kept at it. My daughter got embarrassed and disrespectfully told my wife to leave. My wife then chastised her for speaking disrespectfully, and it escalated. My daughter apologized, and I thought it should have been over. That was really it. But when I told my wife that she should have backed off and should have left, my wife lost it. Commenter. So she had to work through numerous therapy sessions and involve an army of friends to tell you she did nothing other than have a dude hit on her in uncomfortable ways. Sounds like something that could have been handled in a brief discussion with you directly afterward. I had this bad experience the other day XYZ. Op's response. I don't know what is true and what isn't anymore. If that was all that happened, then yeah, she probably would have just come home and said that she was taken advantage of. Commenter 2. So she went on double dates with her friend, the retired athlete, and the retired athlete's friend, and supposedly all that happened was he acted inappropriately and always had his arm around her? She didn't stop him, though? I'd have a hard time believing nothing more than that happened. Also, her friend isn't much of a friend if she continued to put your wife in that situation, but again, your wife didn't stop it. If you choose not to leave, your wife needs to cut off that friend, because she is no friend to your marriage. Sounds like you've made the decision to leave, though, which I don't blame you for. Your wife basically dated another man, whether you believe her story or not, she was still dating him. Op's response. This is all true. I thank you for laying it out this way. It is awful. She went on double dates. She did. Her friend sucks and is claiming she has lost her mind due to divorce. Okay, fine, I'll bite on that. So all the behavior of all these people is explained by traumas in their lives. Well, what about me? I'm just here, going to work every day while enduring this trauma. I'm not acting out. F these people.